we have someone who's been awarded as the Culinary Hero 2021, and he's not just a chef who's made waves of being the semi-finalist for the UK National Chef of the Year award, but he has also won hearts through the screens of the BBC's Celebrity MasterChef UK in 2018. He currently steers the ships as a chef de cuisine at Balochi at the Lalit London. He's also a biker, a lecturer, a mentor, a motivational speaker, and so much more. The list just keeps going on. So with over a decade of kitchen experience, he infuses every dish with love and he brings modern perspectives into the Indian cuisine. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Chef Jomon. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, sir.
It's a privilege. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I thought we could get started at the very beginning. Of course, all of us have our own relationship with food. So, where did your relationship with food start?
At home, simple thing.
Oh,
Actually, I used to live with my grandma. So in very young age, she was a really great cook, and I mean she pampered me a lot with the food. So it's all started from there, I hope.
lovely. And how was the journey from from the home kitchen where, of course, a very South Indian kitchen, which I'm also used to at home, to sort of transitioning to London's English breakfast? And how has your culinary journey been, shifting cuisines, a transcontinental journey that you've had?
So to be very honest, I'm always stick within my Indian kitchen and Indian cuisine itself. I didn't deviate much from my Indian kitchens. I always with chili powders and turmerics every time. I love to eat all the food. I mean, I don't mind to try various cuisines or various new things which is coming into the food industry. But as a chef, I'm always dig more opportunities and more possibilities inside the kitchen, Indian kitchen itself. So I didn't deviate much. Yeah, as you said, from the home kitchen to a culinary world, London's executive chef, it was a tough journey. Uh, I had tears, I had happiness, I had breakdowns, I had shoutings. See, it's been a lot. I mean, yeah. So I must say, I mean, if you start loving your career, I mean, in some stage, you'll reach a break even, and the career will start loving you back. So hopefully I'm that stage that people like you are still coming to me, and so much of message I can see. I mean, that's a privilege.
I think you put that so beautifully, saying that, you've kept your roots in the kitchen.
Yes.
But building onto that was sort of another question that I had was, of course, you work greatly with the Indian cuisine in different cultures and different areas as well. And of course, when you take, food is of course very cultural.
Oh, yeah.
It has its own story. It has its own, story to tell. But when you take it to another country or you take it to another culture, it needs to be adapted in certain ways so that they can also accept it and make it a part of their life. So how has that journey been where,
So
you
we
maintain the... Hmm.
Actually, I understand what you're saying. I mean, to be very honest, that was a misconception. So we feel like, okay, the English people or English originated people, they only like mild food. They probably like only the curries. I mean, they want only mild. So it's a wrong consumption, actually. So I do get my diners over here. So they want to try authentic Indian food. So I never changed my food into a Brit palette or any other palette. So considerably, I kept it very authentic. I mean, people see before it was like say I had a customers. I mean, a couple of years before I got a person. I mean, who were dining in. I mean, he sent my butter chicken back to the kitchen. It was very
Okay.
surprisingly one of my very popular dish was in my menu. So I personally go into that particular diner and ask him, I mean, what had happened? I mean, why did you send it back? He said me, I mean, this is not the authentic butter chicken. So then I realized what exactly he wants. So I made a chicken curry with more cream in it, more butter in it, more sugar in it. So I served him, and he said he was so happy. I mean, see, he's saying, oh, this is what exactly he wanted. So then I got when I been that occasion very friendly, and I had a chat with him. I said, see, what my butter chicken was an authentic Indian butter chicken, what I'm serving. So what you've been trying so many years, and this is not an actual butter chicken, but this is somebody wanted to adapt a Brit palate into the Indian cuisines, and you've been trying all that. I mean, your consumption and your assumption is saying that okay, that is actual butter chicken. So that is what it's all about. The people, when people started giving the authentic food, I mean, people love it. I mean, I have got a British people. They're coming here for. I mean, I had a duck vindaloo previously in my menu, so they don't mind trying that heat. And I got Indians who are coming for butter chicken. Can I have it more mild? So
Wow.
that's how it is. So it's a very misconception saying that okay, when any other country origin people they wanted everything mild, so they love to have it as authentic as it is. That
That's
was the
lovely.
experience I got from.
Lovely. I think a myth has been busted here as well. So thank you for sharing that story. I think it's so beautiful that, like, they sent the food back saying, like, we want a more authentic version
It's
or a
like I
more
felt like a
real.
thapper on my face. Someone sending me butter chicken back. Oh my god.
Sure, but but even in the larger context, when anyone says Indian food in a global context, it sort of gets narrowed down to only naan or naan bread, as they say, or curries. Do you think there's a change happening now where the Indian
There
cuisine is
are
being understood better?
there are lots of Indian chefs are doing innovations even in London itself. I'm quite mad on my innovations. So I even have a sandalwood chicken tikka, which is never in the industry or never. See, sandalwood has never been used into the food
Correct.
industry. So after watching a movie called Pushpa, so I wanted to introduce sandalwood into the food. So I have done my own research and my team given a support to me. So I invented something called a sandalwood chicken tikka, which is in my menu at the moment. So that is a new dish. I mean, it's not even existing in the Indian culinary. But according to the Hindu mythology, sandalwood is one of the sacred wood.
Correct.
So I wanted to see. In childhood, I have seen people carry the sandalwood in banana leaf. They keep it in the instrument box. They keep it in a notebook. So whenever they open the notebook or instrument box, I always feel the flavors
Correct.
of sandalwood. So I surprisingly then I realized after watching the movie then I realized that nobody have used sandalwood. I never seen any of the chefs have used sandalwood into the flavoring agent. So then I conveyed my researches to my team. The team supported. We made many things. We infused into naan. We infused into chutneys. We infused into rice. So finally, we came up with the sandalwood chicken tikka. Everyone liked it, so we kept in the menu. Still, my menu serves sandalwood chicken tikka. So
That's
people are
so
ready for
amazing.
innovations. I mean, see, it's not only butter chicken, not only dal makhani or naan or chili garlic naan or butter naan. So people are ready to invent more. Even I tried to adapt more ingredients to the Indian kitchens. I had a coffee lime in my menu. So coffee lime is nowhere into the Indian kitchen. So I try to adapt coffee lime into my menu. So I don't mind getting more things. I mean, I had a pal paisam as a brulee. So pal
Okay.
paisam is my own thing from Kerala. I mean,
Yeah.
love to eat pal paisam whenever I get a chance. So I have pal paisam brulee in my menu. So I served as a brulee. So people are there. People love to have all those innovations. And they're ready to try it.
I think you've made us all a little hungry. And I'm from Mysore, so sandalwood is of course very close to
Yeah.
everything we do here. And to hear that it's being incorporated into food, I think that was something absolutely unique for even me to listen to. Because, like you said, it's not something we experience in food. It's used in, like, sacred elements. It's used like in education and all of
Yes.
that, but not in food.
Yes.
So I think that's marvelous. So anything else like this, like you incorporated Pal Paisam and then took it to a global audience. I think that's
So
wonderful.
it's you need a platform that is including your management, including your team, including your whole organization where to support you. Because so when you come up with something new, so it's only have to have okay, it has to have that elements of convincing the guest. So rest everything is fine. So I got that support from everyone to adapt new things into my menu. So that was a privilege.
Lovely. And one thing that I did want to ask you here is, like, you kept referring back to your team and you kept going back to the idea of, like, conversing with your team, researching with your team, ideating with them. One thing, of course, that we focus on at I.I.M.U.N a lot is building leadership in a lot of young people that we do conferences in. So, what has sort of been your leadership journey in the kitchen? I think that's very important for all of our culinary students watching. So, what
So
has been your leadership journey?
when I became the executive chef for my company, so I was the youngest executive chef in town at the moment.
Oh, wow.
Still, so I got a chance to my chefs were like I mean I got a breakfast chef who has got experience more than my age. So I was the youngest in the kitchen to manage a bunch of very experienced, skillful Indian chefs.
Okay.
So it was a very big task for me because for them, यार कल का बच्चा आया हमें सिखाने के लिए. Yeah, for me is like they are big chefs and how do I see? I wanted to do some innovations and how do I convey the message to them? So then I seen the tactic. It's just like so when you give respect, you will get the respect. And
True.
age is only a number in terms of kitchens. When your visions, when your ideology, when your hard work, when the team relates to that, they'll give you enough support, and they will say you're not here to teach somebody, right? See, I never see. I know it's not a one-man show. See, when you're walking in the kitchen, I let my team and I let my guest also know. So I'm just being a face for my lovely team, because if you don't have a good team, I mean, I can't go and smile in front of my guests, because it's all because of the team efforts. I mean, that is what they are having it. So it was really cunning for me to adapt things, but yeah, they are the great supporters at the moment. It's like family, so we do share things. I mean, it's not only the professional, even personally, we do share things. I mean, we see daily nearly 15 hours or 10 hours a day, and we are here for 5 days a week. I mean, more than family or more than wife, or I meet them, I'm with them. So we do fight. It doesn't mean that we don't fight each other. We do fight. We do have arguments, but it's only for the quality of the food what we are serving. I mean, we didn't have any personal grudge, and the team I always built in such a way that we always there for everyone. So that is what it's all about.
I think you put that so beautifully, saying that there is no face to show without the team.
No, see,
And I think,
basically, if I know five things, my each and every team member knows the 10 things. If collectively, it's a big numbers, right? So sometimes, see, I got a chef who's worked in Delhi for so many years. He makes the best dal makhani. So if I want to learn something, if I want to ask something, I'll go and ask them. See, chef, this is I'm lacking. Okay, how can I get it done? He has got experience.
correct.
So why shouldn't I? I mean, my ego doesn't work. See, that's the thing. I mean, when your ego doesn't work for asking things and learning new things, your seniors and juniors, I mean, it's only it matters. I mean, eventually, your productivity, your goal is should be your guest.
Lovely. I think the lesson there was to be humble and sort of leave the ego at the door, to always go and learn from anyone who can teach you something. And I think that's I think that's a lovely thought to leave us with. But the next thing I did want to ask you, sort of in terms of food, is as someone who is a part of Gen Z, cafe culture is a huge part of what we do. Like, if you look at India right now, most cafes serve Italian, or like, you have burgers and pizzas and fries and all of those. Where do you think, is there an opportunity, A, for Indian food to be a part of this cafe revolution that is happening? And B, do you see it happening, like, probably worldwide also?
There is in London at the moment. There are lots of I don't say it's cafe, but some more tea walas are coming in. Um,
Okay.
More chai walas are coming into the operations with lots of. So when see if you go to any other countries like Dubai, or if you go to India, so there is a customer having okay यार उधर तक जाके थोड़ा सा चाय पी के आया, cutting pan के
Huh.
आएगा. So that concept we doesn't have it here. It's always a coffee. So we'll grab a coffee and go home. I mean we'll grab a coffee while coming to work. So chai wala system it doesn't exist. I mean now it's picking it up. So there are lots of restaurants are coming up and saying we have something called a high chai in our
Okay.
menu. We had afternoon tea, which has been narrowed down to a concept of high chai. What we have done is like we have chosen five main cities of India and have chosen the best street food from those five cities and combined into an afternoon tea, and we served as a high chai.
Oh,
So it's
lovely.
more towards Indian street foods, and we serve with the cutting chai when we have that kettle and
Oh,
chai thing from
okay.
there. So all things are coming back. So always chai and snacks, it tees into the I mean on top of the market at the moment. I hope.
But how do you think sort of the palette is changing with Gen Z? Because we eat very differently from the generations before us. So how do you, so like in terms of your innovator side, how are you seeing food trends changing with Gen Z becoming the larger market now?
See, I have a tandoori chicken burger in my menu for my room
Okay.
diners. So we don't mind adapting things. Yeah, but even adapting also, we also always try to keep some authenticity. I made something called nanza. It will never be a naan or never be a pizza. So
Okay.
there are lots of varieties we can try in terms of adapting and still stick with the rules. So yeah, I mean, Londoners is always ready to accept changes and ready to accept new things. Yeah, I mean, influencers and social media has got a big impact. So Alia Bhatt came and tried Lato cake. I mean, now it's going viral and everyone is trying to go there. So it's all people are watching. Okay, what others are doing, what the influencers are doing. So it's always has got that market in it.
True. And like you said, I think social media itself has been such a game changer for food. Because as someone who could not make more than 2 minute noodles. I tried making dalgona coffee during the pandemic, and I keep watching pages of those like you and try to find a place
Yeah.
in the kitchen myself. But how has social media been sort of a game changer for you? Because you're also someone who's
See,
brought in Indian cuisine and got it a place on social media.
the big example is I'm sitting in front of it only because of social
True.
media. See, I'm not claiming that I'm the best chef. I'm not claiming that I know everything what Indian kitchen has got. But hopefully, social media has given me an impact, given some time for social media. Eventually, it was not reaching anyway, but then gradually people started noticing me. I got the opportunity. So, see, many people ask me, okay, are you getting so much of money from social media? So I tell them, see, this is again a misconception. My concern is to get the contacts, not the money. So as a typical village boy from back home from Kerala to landed up in this London, I mean I don't know anyone who is related to the culinary world. So from there I've been awarded as the culinary hero of the Craft Guild of Chefs. So that is the organization in the London itself. So people started recognizing, people started knowing me only because okay, there is a proper what is called like exam homework has been gone through, the proper feed has been gone through. People started noticing all those. So I always kept my niche as an Indian food and modernization of Indian food, and I never deviate with the authenticity. So eventually, people are coming for it. I mean, people are asking for it. So now there are lots of Malayalis are coming to just roam London. So they want tick markets to have lunch from Chef Jomon. So I could make that happen. So I'm happy.
I think that sounds wonderful, and I think, of course, with your sandalwood naan, a dash of kadala curry is never a bad thing. So, I'm glad you said that. Like in your journey, how you've sort of made it a point to maintain that authenticity, and sort of that has been a driving force, like you said, in your brand, and sort of how you build that. And social media, like you said, has become a platform to build that brand for yourself. If for everyone watching, you could just tell us the recipe for your success and what the ingredients have been in that recipe.
I'll say three things. One is learning, that is never stopping, and try to adapt. If you feel like you've done a mistake, adapt it and move on, and don't repeat it. You can't say you're going to never do mistakes. So you will do mistakes. When you realize, okay, that's a mistake in your personal life or a personal life or professional life, whatever it is, adapt and go on. The third one is like practicing good things. If you didn't practice it, I mean, there's no point. So learning, adapting, and practice. That's the three things I must say. You should have it.
Lovely. And right at the top, you'd given us another lesson, which is humility and respecting your craft and the people
Of
around you
course,
in doing that. So
there is no one-man show. You can't run as a person, as a human being. You can't. But then family, you need the support from the family. When you work, you need support from everyone. So I don't believe in one-man shows. I always believe in my team efforts.
lovely. Thank you so much for that. Now, just before we end, we just have a fun segment known as the rapid fire. So I'll just read out a couple of phrases,
Okay.
and you can tell us the first thing that comes to mind when I say them. Right. So the first one off the top is home.
Uh, family, my sofa, my kids, my wife.
Lovely. The second one is fusion foods.
Modern Indian cuisine. Nothing, no doubts in
No
it.
doubt. I think I know the answer to this, but an ingredient that surprised you the most.
Uh, Ingredients surprise me most is love because if you cook it with lots of love, the final product is much better way. You will feel fallen for it. We will feel that connection towards it.
Lovely. Your proudest innovation.
I can't to be very honest. I've done so much of things. I mean, I have innovated. I have remold Kerala culture, Kerala cuisine. So there are lots of things. This sandalwood is one of the thing which is not existing. Something called gudka paratha, which is called jaggery and
Correct.
coconut as a filling. I served a pumpkin steak as a matanga erisheri. That was the predominant curry Kerala has got. So I served as a pumpkin steak for all the vegan dietary requirements to my restaurant. So the loads close to heart. And I at the moment I serve Alapi kori curry. It says kori curry in my menu and my mom's recipe. It's somewhere beating even my butter chicken.
I'm sure. I think, like you said, I think there's two things for the success of the recipe. One is the love, and the second is, of course, the fact that it's a homegrown recipe that you're
Yes.
using.
Yes.
So the next one is actually something the opposite of restaurant food. What is your comfort food after a long day?
See, I'm always in the North Indian kitchens, but when I go home, I feel like wife's sambar, chor, thoran, or kanji, whatever it is, she cooks nicely. So whenever I go home, I feel to have that.
Lovely.
Fish curry meal can't take off from a malu.
Lovely. Your favorite spice?
Um, See, black cardamom, always fine to make it with lots of food. I mean, whether it's fresh peppercorns or black cardamoms, yeah, I'm from the place of Delicious black pepper is one of the best thing. And the green cardamom, I always fond of.
Lovely. The next one is London.
Home away home,
Home away from home. Lovely. The next one is young people, youth.
Jomon Kuriakose.
Lovely.
That is
The
the
the next one is India.
India is childhood memories, food, emotions, anything you can say. So that is the roots.
It's the root. Lovely. And last but not least, what comes to mind when I say I.I.M.U.N?
So you guys are doing amazing job. Keep rocking it.
Thank
People
you.
like me, if you give me a platform, for me it's like a motivation. I don't know how many of you are watching me. So for them, it's like a big chance. So I connect with my very personal things. So for me, it's like a very motivation to get a platform to speak. So keep rocking it.
Thank
Uh,
you.
don't stop it. Great efforts.
Thank you
Great efforts.
so
Good
much.
words.
Thank you.